All right. Hold on. What's this?
I don't know how that works
Smitty,
either.
what's going on, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Not great, dude.
You're telling me, man. I'm hurting out here in Salt Lake. Hurting big time. Listen, I love Spell, but let's be realistic, man. And I'm tired and no one ever mentions this. Bam is not a center. He is a power forward. We have 3 centers on our bench. We're getting killed on the boards all year. Small ball ain't working anymore. Everybody's bigger than us. We're getting killed all the time, and I don't know why no one ever really mentions this. I don't know what else. It's just frustrating to watch game after game after game. We're just getting killed on the boards.
Crush last night, Smitty. Thanks for the call. Calling from Salt Lake City. What time is it in Salt Lake City?
7.
Jeez.
I have been saying that all year, and I said it before the year.
You have been a size guy. You've been saying that 4 years that they're not big enough.
I swore that at some point Bam would be a 4 and play more like Siakam. He has a lot of that skill set.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Well, he does a lot of things a lot better than Siakam.
No. I'm just saying, as far as what the skill set is, I'm not saying who's better.
Mm-hmm.
Bam is definitely a better mid-range shooter. Okay. But
I'm not talking about offense, though.
He can take people off the dribble. The defensive side doesn't matter.
Oh, it definitely does.
I mean, it doesn't matter from this standpoint.
That's why he doesn't play the other centers.
Huh?
That's why he doesn't play the other centers.
What do you mean?
The reason that Spo doesn't play Omer Yurtseven.
Oh, it's because of defense. But I'm just talking about from the Bam perspective. From the Bam perspective is he's always going to be a guy who roams around and guards 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
And they run switches at the top of the key, and Bam can lock up a point guard and do all these things. But with nobody behind him,
it's his versatility.
Makes it tough.
His versatility can be a blessing and a curse because it gets everybody in these positions. And that's what happened a lot yesterday.
So they bring him out. They bring him out with Collins or somebody like that, and then go right behind him with the little people.
I think the thing that's frustrating is you get, the word that's been thrown around a lot is punk. We were just watching during the break. First Take was just taking a blowtorch to the Heat, which doesn't typically happen nationally. I mean, and you had everything from.
Well, it's the guy too. It's not a talking head that's actually going that route.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody who's usually pretty.
Oh, JJ Redick. Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Redick.
JJ Redick's usually a pretty level-headed guy, and JJ Redick is even saying the Heat looked like they got out-desired last night. Mad Dog Russo is saying Pat Riley should fire Spo. That was kind of wacky. Stephen A. Smith says it looks like the Heat hate each other. And look, other than the firing Eric Spoelstra, I think all of their takes are fine. I don't think you can rule it out. It was funny walking into the building last night. Had a bunch of people like, hey, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? I always think the Heat are gonna win. That's why I'm Wild Heat Coyote. But I said on the back end of all of it, it's like, look, I think they're gonna win. If I walk down to if you're telling me I'm walking down to the press room tonight to recap a loss, I won't be surprised. How could you be?
Because you have a whole year of history.
It's so funny. Like I think you had a lot of national writers in town yesterday to cover this game, and I think they all kind of looked at this like shocked. And I'm like, I'm like saying it as a walk by, I'm like, story of the season. Like that's been what it is. It's been what it is. But yeah, look, man. Bam yesterday did not play well. I mean, he didn't play well. Nothing flashed for him.
What about Jimmy missing all those?
Jimmy did too, but Jimmy didn't play well either. I mean, like your 2 stars didn't play well. I think Bam stands out particularly because of the rebounding. Right. And like 9 rebounds is fine, but when you're seeing Clint Capella double you up, and he's getting every offensive rebound, and and Leroy, you can look at all the stats yesterday you want, all of them. There's only one that matters yesterday. And that's second chance points, 26 to 6
rebounds.
That's the game,
right?
You kept, and what I heard yesterday was, it's deflating. You got you guys, if it's happening over and over and over again, like something's got to change without it. And I
got so sick of them putting back a shot, and the Heat or Kyle Lowry doing this. Like as they take the ball out, like at some point, between and I don't even blame Spo for this, because at some point during the course of a game, the players have to take the they have to be the ones to turn that around.
Of course.
Smoke and say, hey, no, only one opportunity, one and done, one shot. But you have to do it. And there was too many times, like the craziest thing to me is somebody shooting a three and somebody being able to come in and dunk it.
Right.
The putback.
Jalen
A
Johnson.
three-pointer?
But this is the thing you say. So when you go to the thing with Bam, it's like, yeah, I get the criticism. Not saying it's unwarranted, but man, what a failure of roster building that you put around him, because
if he doesn't do it, nobody else.
The only movie you put in was bringing in Cody Zeller and Kevin Love, and Spo trusted to play them 7 minutes last night together,
right,
combined.
Right.
So what's he supposed to do? Like nobody can guard anybody at the point of attack.
Right.
Everybody's blowing past you, and he's also supposed to be back there getting the rebound. Now, yeah, also there were plenty of possessions last night, where he's going to the rim, he gets tied up by a Kongwu for a jump ball. 2 put back point blanks, he's missing. He got the ball in the elbow, and he's just like looking to dribble handoff. Like he's not having that confidence in his jumper that he's had all year. So Bam did not play well. I'm not trying. I don't want to make excuses, because I know that on the show we love that guy, and he's good to our show, and we've been rooting for him basically since he's come on to the Heat. We're calling him Kemp Jordan.
Yep.
He did not play well enough anywhere close yesterday for a max player. Point blank, period. And him talking yesterday and bitching after the game about, not getting the ball or not getting in good spot. Like, come on, dude. Like I knew as soon as it left his mouth yesterday, I said people are gonna be furious with him saying that, because you can't go 5 for 12 shooting bunnies, and you can't get doubled up. You can't get doubled up on the boards.
Right.
You can't because Clint Capella, he scored 4 points last night. Who had a bigger impact on the game?
Clint Capella.
Come on. It's like it's not even close. Julian. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Julian, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I feel that. 2 quick things. One, the Hawks social media could go straight to hell.
True.
I don't know if you've seen what they did, but they disrespected 2 Miami teams last night.
They did.
And second thing is the whole conversation with Bam, like playing horrible last night, like it was atrocious, because one, he was nowhere in the paint to get offensive rebounds. I mean, literally nowhere. I would see also cheeks up for Lowry. Good for him last night. But in the shots that they would miss, in the 3-point shooting that was horrible last night, Bam was nowhere in the paint, which I was dumbfounded by it. Like I could not. Where else could he have been? Was he asking for the ball at the 3-point line? Was he right before it? Like I don't know. And then at some point, when they would shoot, when the Hawks would shoot, the ball would literally fall to Clint Capella. Like it would bounce off the front of the rim and fall to him.
That's the thing that's crazy about it. It's like, yes, I understand why people. There's a finality of results. Again, I get it. Bam has to play better, but because of the way the Hawks were playing yesterday, here's what happened. They throw up these bricks. Bam's out on the wing trying to guard whomever, Sadiq Bey or Kongwu or whoever the hell should, John Collins, whoever's shooting the 3. Right. That 3 would miss. And then
the other 2 guys,
it would bounce somewhere, most of the time to Clint Capella, because Bam's out there guarding. There's nobody to get the ball, and Clint Capella's shoving Kyle Lowry out of the way like, ah!
Here's the problem.
But the problem with that ultimately is there's no other bigs you trust in the team. Everybody else you play is 6'5".
The problem is that the Hawks have 3 of Bam. And I don't mean that they're all as productive as Bam, but same body type, athletic, can get to the rim. Bam can only guard one of those guys.
Yeah.
And it was always the other guy. And I don't have a problem with you trying to guard those guys with 6'5" guys. But I do have a problem with nobody boxing them out.
But it's like, all right, your big swing this year was to go get Kevin Love coming off the bench.
Wasn't a big swing.
Unfortunately, that was
a pickup.
That was the big pickup, and you didn't do anything at the trade deadline, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you have this play-in game. This guy is a good rebounder. You play him 3 minutes? 3?
When,
he was that
when you needed rebounds,
like I get
you
it.
know that Kevin Love can get.
Look,
Well,
I get
here's
it.
the problem.
I
though.
get it. He's got cement feet. Don't get me wrong.
Here's the problem. He may get you rebounds, but when you're looking at 3 of Bam's on the other side, who is he going to stay in front of?
Dude, like even if he's got cement feet, like somebody of 6'6" or higher stature, can they be there? Like, come on. It was like I think Spo said it. It was a comedy of errors last night.
I mean, or a comedy of guys who weren't as athletic as.
And the other thing is, like, good God, this Hawks team comes in here, and it's like they got rumors and dysfunction, and Trey's out the door.
Trey wasn't talking to his coach because they had a lead.
Trey is fighting his coach. Just like, this is the second time now where you've been in a playoff clinching mode. The last time was the Nets, where the Nets were free falling. They come into your building and you completely embarrass yourselves. And I think the thing that's crazy about it is, like, you put the Heat in the worst circumstances, and that's when you see the best. But you put them in any advantageous position this year against an opponent, and they will disappoint you. Like, they will find new levels of disappointment that you didn't think existed.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy. What we got? Evan. What's going on, Evan?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Trying to live life, right? First and foremost, thank God for the Panthers. Happy to see them make the playoffs.
Yep.
Obviously, you got to get that win tonight or whenever they play, because you don't want to play Boston in the first round. So hopefully they get it. But hey, happy that they, unlike the Heat, they actually busted their butts at the end of the season, won a bleep ton of games, and got where they needed to go. So
True.
Happy about that. Happy about the cycle. That's awesome for the Marlins. Obviously, they're hot garbage, but at least they won, and that's cool.
I mean, they're mediocre garbage right now.
It's hard to say. Talk to me in 40 games. That's what Jazz says. That's what I'm going to say. Talk to me in 40 games.
Okay.
Right.
So in 40 games when we're like 15 and 25.
Totally fair. We'll say Evan was like, Evan said they were hot garbage.
What are we doing?
Let's let the milk expire before we spit it into the sink.
That's true. I'm not going to be there yet, but yeah, no. The thing is like, and kind of like what you guys were saying. Like I'm hearing a bunch of excuses from people. It's like, look, this pretty much exact same team, other than PJ Tucker, literally was in the finals last year. So like to tell me, oh, they're too short. Listen, they made it work last year. They did it right last year. So. To me, it's just the players just aren't playing well. Can't really blame Spo because he has what he has, based on what the salary cap was done for them. And, kind of like Leroy says, it comes a point in time when the players just have to shut up and execute. And if they're not going to execute, then this is the result. I mean, we're good enough to win the whole thing, and we're bad enough to lose by 50 points to a Nets team that's garbage. So, hopefully they figure it out on Friday, and then they go into the games against the Bucks, and they're obviously going to have no chance in that series. But then you never know because it's the Heat, and watch them shock the world. So just going to try to be positive. Not cocky Heat fan yet. Hopefully we win on Friday, and then a little bit of cockiness might be able to start coming out a little bit. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks for the call, Evan. All right, we got to take a break. I'm sorry for the other people on hold. We will get to you on the other side if you guys want to hold on or call back. We'll try and get to you, but we do have to hit a commercial break. We're here for you. We understand why everybody's pissed. I'm pissed. Leroy's pissed. Marco seems all right.
I'm numb, you know what? I'm gonna say it like this. I don't think I'm as pissed as one of the hardest things to deal with is to accept what you've seen all year and accept that now as the reality. And we fought it for so long, and I didn't fight it as long as you did. But the reality of it is that what this team was last night is what they've been all year, and we just kept discarding it. Oh no, they'll get it. Oh no, they'll get it.
Yeah.
And guess what? We had the totally opposite mindset about the Panthers.
Fair point.
And we didn't give them a chance to let that kick in. Well, look at where we are now.
We'll take a quick break. Back with more. We'll hear from some of the guys after the game. Spo, Bam, Tyler, Jimmy, Kyle. Back up to this.
Postseason.
15 minutes of heat here for you on 560 WQAM. Because we're masochists, we decided to start during the break watching all the Heat offensive rebounds given up to Clint Capella last night.
I mean,
that's what you guys were watching?
Yeah.
Usually it's fun stuff like knockouts.
Nah,
well, no, here we go. Here, first of all,
jeez,
I'm gonna just say this to all these dumbass Philly fans.
Oh man.
So Tobin shows me it was dollar hot dog night at the Phillies and the Marlins game. And they were so unhappy with their team that they were buying the hot dogs and throwing them in the stadium. $60,000 worth of hot dogs. So that's 60,000 hot dogs. Me and Tobin looked at each other and say, we winning that day. We ain't throwing no hot dogs.
No way, dude.
No way.
Cleaning up.
Clean it up.
Man.
Make it a dollar. Hey, Marlins. I don't care about $2 beer. I don't care about dollar. I don't care about dollar anything else.
Pretzels.
Waters, pretzels. You come at me with dollar hot dog night. Come talk to me.
I'm all for it.
Come talk to me.
Let's hear from Eric Spoelstra after the game. Eric
Do we-
Spoelstra.
do
yeah,
we, like,
let's hear
could
from him.
I
Let's hear from Coach
We-
Spo.
the answers to the test. He better not say that.
Dude, he gave me an answer last night because I asked him something. Let's hear this first. It's not that answer, but it's like he
seems just beat up.
I envy his ability to show optimism in the bleakest times. It's really a gift.
Thought we
dude.
defended, fairly.
All the teammates respect, all the players respect him.
Yeah.
Because at any point in time during this year, he could have lost it on all of them.
Although Mad Dog Russo thinks that he should get Stan Van Gundy'd. I don't know.
Like Pat Riley should come down?
He's like, Pat, you got me to Stan. I'm like, that was 16 years ago? Here's Spo.
I thought we defended, fairly well, particularly in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter on through the second half. We just were not able to come up with, those finishing rebounds. And it was kind of a mix, a highlight film gone bad of either missed blockouts, bobbled balls, tip balls, or two guys there, and they were able to just come up with the rebound. And if they did come up with the rebound, they also were able to turn those into scores.
Yeah, well, a lot of scores.
He's not angry enough for me.
He does. I think he does. He just doesn't show it in that environment, right? But I think his players, like you can't be a coach that long and not be able to get your point across. But he has, like, if they're watching film today, he has.
I just saw my least favorite play of the day, where Clint Capella just bullies Bam for an offensive rebound, and Capella finds Bogdanovich just cutting down willy-nilly. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Was the one
that even when they get the offensive rebound, now everybody's standing watching the guy that got the offensive rebound, and somebody goes right to the rim for a dunk.
Yeah, I think that was the one that pissed me off the most yesterday. But
what's up with Sadiq Bey? He's got the little.
How are we still getting crushed by Sadiq Bey? When he was a Piston, he'd light us up. Now he's a Hawk, he lights us up. The entire Bogdanovich family tree lights us up. I know they're not related, but wherever there's a Bogdanovich, they're lighting up the Heat.
They're not related?
They're not.
Wow.
And then Bam is saying that it was deflating yesterday. Here was Bam on the deflatingness of yesterday's
You're really
game.
annoyed by this, huh?
I was annoyed by this.
It's when you see the ball bouncing in the direction of the whole game, it's one deflating because you work hard for that possession. For the game, I feel like as the game went on, we fell short on the defensive end, and that was not rotating. Lack of communication, and obviously rebounds.
Quite obviously. Quite obviously.
I mean, I don't think I'm as upset as you because I've been complaining about these things all year, and you're like, no, they're fine.
I think
they're
the thing
fine."
that annoyed me the most was that it's the Hawks. Like the Hawks aren't
But
a.
it doesn't.
They're
but
not. They're
we,
not.
We've established that it doesn't matter who they play.
I know, but like to lose in that fashion, like if the Hawks, if you told me today, hey Tobes, guess what? We lost to the Hawks, but the Hawks hit like 50% from downtown. I'd be like, I know. What are you gonna do? Go Trey. But like you're gonna tell me that team, not the Bucks,
Right.
not the Cavs,
Mhm.
that team bludgeoned you. I know Clint Capela's been a good player for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, but like he's gonna double you up, Clint Capella. Chapo, what's up, man?
Listen, man, I got a lot to say. You got the dunk button ready?
No.
I'm just kidding. But I got a lot to say though. Listen, man, everybody's throwing blame to everybody, and there's enough blame to go around, right? This is my thing, man. I hate to say this, Tobin. We're in the purgatory. We're in the purgatory, man. We don't do anything with the game plan to change on the fly no more. Feels like Spo lost his touch. Trade Spo. Get rid of him.
What?
Bring back your old takes. Whatever you got to do.
No. That's not what that means.
Chapo.
Get him out of here.
Chapo, I'm gonna tell you right now. That's how you do it. If you're gonna come in here with a hot take, you make sure you include the guy who also had the same take.
I didn't have that.
so
Wasn't
he
what the
can't
take
trash
was.
you.
That's not what the take was.
Oh yeah.
My take wasn't that Spo was a bad coach. It was just maybe he was tired of being a Riley shadow and traded to Portland because he has a steakhouse there, and we get Damian Lillard back.
Hey, that is funny though. He said it's just like you said.
That's not what I said.
You do it to me all the time. It's like we're samesies. You say it to me all the time.
Fair point.
No. Oh, well done,
Get
Chapo.
out of here, Chapo. You're banned. Probably just going with some fake name like Floppo, which is also Kyle Lowry's name.
Hey, look, he is free of any judgment for the next 48 hours.
Is he?
for me.
You want to know something? I'm a little annoyed at that game, to be honest with you, yesterday. Now you decide to show up, Kyle. All of a sudden, we get Kyle Lowry.
And this takes me to my point. If you're a professional athlete, right, I find it hard for me to convince you to play hurt or banged up. For this reason right here. But we didn't know Kyle was hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't
till
talk about
after
injuries.
the fact. Okay. But now that you see he says I'm healthy, and he said it before the game, do you feel any different about what you saw all year? That he was playing on one leg.
I definitely feel different, but I think the thing that goes back to is, well, he's old, and like they gave $90 million guaranteed to an old point guard who has gotten hurt at the end of last year and the middle of this year. So yeah, I understand why the production hasn't been there, but also he's old and he's small, except in one area.
Him and Tua go to the same trainer.
Apparently so. Apparently so. But
so yeah, but look, I was watching that game and watching it, and I'm like, it's going to be one of those games, right? We've seen it. It doesn't matter who they play. This score could have been this score if it was this year's NBA champ or this year's NBA first pick in the lottery.
Yeah, we've seen it from the Hornets, the Nuggets. We've seen it. Doesn't matter. This is what they are.
And
to boot, 15-point deficit, cut it to 5. Like that's just, but to put themselves in that position,
right?
Is
you
just
can't
crazy.
You here. When you get into this part of the season, saying they've played 40 close games and they have the most wins doing that. When you get into the playoffs, you can't play every game like that.
I just think that it's going to come to a point because, all right, let's say Friday gets here. What if they don't win? Let's say they get bounced. Because they haven't had success against the Raptors or the Bulls this year.
Because they all have the same thing, length, a lot of length.
So it's like, all right, if this ends, are they going to blow this up? Is this over? Are they going to make big changes? Because you clearly tried. You have run essentially the core of Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam with whatever's around them. You've run it now 4 years, had 2 really great runs with it. You know, one of them being with those guys being extremely young.
So yeah,
and Jimmy get older. Like, at what point do they say, all right, we gotta have a big pivot here? Because they ran it back, which we all thought was a very dicey move to do. We all did, and I get it. They were going big game hunting, Spida, KD. None of it happened. Everybody else in front of them got better. The Knicks got Brunson. The Cavs got Spida. The Celtics made moves. The Bucks kept making moves. All year, the Bucks keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And you're sitting here. What do we got? Kevin Love. Playing Kevin Love in a must-win game. Played him 3 minutes.
Here's the thing that the other thing that you fail to realize is that now that this team is where it is, you don't have any assets as far as draft picks or what have you to trade.
They have draft picks to trade, but it's like, is that what they're going to do? Are they going to? And then what is that like with the market being that it is? Like, what does the league think of Tyler? What does what is that asset? What does the league think of a Jimmy Butler? If you do decide to go and move on from Jimmy, does Jimmy makes a lot of money? He's kind of getting up there.
Well, I don't have a problem with Jimmy.
I don't have a problem with any. Like, this is the thing that's the issue, though, Leroy. I don't have a problem with any. I like Bam Adebayo. I like Bam Adebayo a lot as a player. I like Jimmy Butler a lot as a player. I like Tyler Hero a lot as a player. But we're sitting here, and you're getting bounced by teams that are 500 and under 500.
Well, you're 500. What are you saying? You're so much above them. That's my point.
But no,
you're not.
We're not disagreeing.
Okay.
We all like them as individual players.
Yes,
Something's not working.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Is that Bam sometimes struggles against teams that have multiple him. So pick a team. When you look at any team and go, wow, they have a lot of length, that means that you only have one of them to guard all of them. And he sometimes struggles because you're asking him to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys that should be playing from outside in, creating mismatches, so then he can go on the block against a smaller 4 or maybe get caught up in a 3 or a switch or something like that. He's not the guy that should be foot in the paint, demanding the ball at 6'9", and trying to work that way. You need somebody else.
I don't disagree with you. They need somebody else. I just think, but that goes to the front office having to do a better job constructing around.
Sure.
Because
absolutely,
right now your front court is Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry, and they can't stand in front of anybody.
But and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, that you could have had help. You could have had help before the season started, but nobody wanted to give up Tyler Hero.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're here. Eat it. Nobody wanted to give up anybody.
I'm eating it. It doesn't taste good.
But it doesn't. Of course not. But keep in mind,
it's like a $1 hot dog.
Before the season started, if there was gonna be any trade, it would have had to include Tyler Hero, and everybody said no. So now you can't come back now after the season over and go, they didn't do anything with this roster because nobody wanted to give up Tyler Hero. Now that'll change now.
Yeah.
But understand, you are where you are because the pieces or the piece that you would have had to give up before the season started to maybe get a Spider or one of those other.
Well, it goes to, here's what they got. It's going to be an interesting turning point, I think, because it feels very much like, are they going to go in a spot where Jimmy and Bam are both here next year? Are they going to do they go complete scrap, send Jimmy somewhere, and build around Bam and Tyler and see what it's going to take time. I'm not saying that's going to contend next year, obviously.
Right.
Or can they find some way somehow to clear out Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry's $50 million combined and get some damn help with that money somewhere? Can they find anything, and what assets you have to trade that? I don't know. It's going to cost a lot.
You're doing it again.
But that's the jujitsu you'd have to do.
You're doing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm telling you what the realization is.
No,
I'm not saying that that's good, but like if you're going to keep those 3 guys, then you have to find some way for somebody to take your crap and get something productive out of it.
But
and I don't know how you do that.
You don't. That's why you're still stuck with those guys. It's going to take one of the 3. It's not. You may be able to hold on to 2 of them, but you're not going to be able to hold on to all 3. And you're going to have to make the decision, okay, the way this team plays, the way that this team is asked to play, and the demands that are put on their players, it starts with defense. And if you think, like the Heat have always thought, we can find scores anywhere, we can find shooters anywhere, and Tyler is an additional piece.
We'll take a quick break. Hour 2 coming up next.